There's going to be a deck list in the description, but this is what I've got. I mean, Eluge or however you say the Shoreless Sea name. I mean, look at the card. It's power and toughness equal to the number of islands you control when it enters or attacks. Put a flood counter on a land. It's an island in addition to other types. First instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 1 blue less for each land you control with a flood counter on it. Now, this gets out of hand really fast because it is capable of protecting itself as soon as you have 5 mana, because most of your good counter spells cost 2. Some of them cost 1, which allows you to drop it with even better protection, because a lot of the time you want to have counter magic up when you resolve this commander, because it's going to get removed or it's going to get countered. And so that's when things like Spell Pierce and Swan Song come into play. They just protect you right when you're putting it on board, and you don't care about a 2/2 bird because you're about to put a lot of pressure on with this. And as soon as you attack once, you've got protection counter magic ready to go. The other thing this runs is Brawl, which has been okay. Honestly, if I'm filtering when I've got like a draw discard thing, half the time I get rid of Brawl. Like the card advantage is great, but I'm usually drawing counter spells, which are way more important to hold on to. This deck has 29 counter spells in it, which I think is the right amount. I might end up tuning some of the specific spells. And the other thing it has is Eaten by Piranhas and Utter Insignificance. Both have flash and both negate your opponent's commanders. They're very important. A lot of the time they're going to resolve their commander with a Cavern of Souls, and then you're going to make them sad because your 2 mana wasn't open for a counterspell. It was open to ruin their commander. The rest of this is pretty basic. Lots of counterspells. Lots of ridiculously strong arena spells. Haughty Djinn is nice, and Haughty Djinn, because it makes blue spells cheaper. But the other thing it does is it works so well with 3 steps ahead. At the end of your opponent's turn, if you can just copy Haughty Djinn, and then not only do spells cost 2 less to cast, you now have some serious board presence. Like, that's some ridiculous pressure for a blue deck to be putting up. I got this deck from online. It was like a list I found, and I've started tweaking it. One of the first things I did was put Brazen Borrower in it. Brazen Borrower is such a fantastic tempo card that it's needed in this deck. When your opponent just draw goes on turn 3 and you put down a permanent lightning bolt, you can just win games by just not letting them resolve anything after putting down a Brazen Borrower, or they use removal on Brazen Borrower, and then it's easier to cast your commander. Narset is fine because it's great to get any card advantage, especially when you get to pick what you're getting, but it's a relatively weak card in this deck. The best thing it does is your opponents attack it. So you basically get to time walk a combat step. Sink into Stupor is secretly like OP because it just returns the spell to their hand or a non-land permanent. So you've got a way to blink a turn when your opponent throws down Cavern of Souls and is like, "Lol, my commander," and it's like, "No, sorry." Solve the Equation is great because of what I'm about to show you. So one of the ways you end up winning is by stealing your opponent's stuff and taking extra turns. So when you manage to get a hold of Time Warp and Karn's Temporal Sundering and Alrund's Epiphany, you just end up swinging in with like a 6/6 monster that usually they'll block 1 or 2 times, and then you just end up winning. Commandeer is absurd. I have just won games with Commandeer. If I have an opening hand that is junk but has Commandeer and my opponent's commander is a Planeswalker, I'm just keeping this hand because I'll just steal their Planeswalker and then they usually just scoop. It's such a blowout. It's almost unfair. Hullbreaker is great sometimes. I am very tempted to look for other threats to put in this deck. And then of course you got Dig Through Time, Blue Sun's Twilight, Mass Manipulation. These are the other ways you just swing games. You just steal their threats and then they fizzle out completely because you're usually backing it up with counter magic. But not much else to say. Let's just get into playing this deck. This hand is probably perfect. Let's see who we're playing against. Yeah, this is going to counter a Mana Dork. This is going to counter a land search spell, and then this will just be good. So yeah, this is fine. You have to mulligan super aggressively with this deck, or you will just lose. That is the worst outcome possible, that free ramp. Remember when you don't mulligan correctly and you lose? Pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I guess we'll see. I'm tempted to Tails End this, but I gotta save it for Italy. You almost always feel like you're losing with this deck, and until you start winning. It's kind of ridiculous. What I would love is for them to be afraid to play Atali and just play Harrow or something. Ooh. I don't have enough artifacts in the deck to make that worth it. We will just Tail's End because I can always counter Atali or Mindbreak Trap now. Another great thing is Mindbreak Trap plays around Cavern of Souls. And your opponents don't like it when you play around Cavern of Souls. Let's see if I get the land I need. Nope, but that's fine. Brazen Borrower is good too. Let's see what happens. As long as they don't get Cavern, we're okay. They can get Cavern. So here's the problem. No, there's no problem. The thing is I've got Brazen Borrower open for like tempo, and I've got Exclude if they get a land and cast Atali again. So this isn't very good right now, but this is gonna be my land because I'm missing my land drops. So let's just see what happens. That's fine because we're basically just gonna have to, let's see what we get. I'm gonna have 5 mana. Okay, just bounce it at the end of their turn because I don't want to deal with it. Okay, even better. Can we get away with this? Yeah, this still lets us cast Mindbreak Trap, makes Eluge cheaper. All right, let's go. I'm just talking out my thought process because you kind of have to do that with this kind of deck. I still have Sublime Epiphany when they finally get cast Atali. So the goal now would be to get, oh, they're putting up the pressure. So my best bet is going to be holding up Brazen and Sublime. Just let them resolve stupid stuff like that. Nobody cares. And don't get cheeky here and drop like a Hullbreaker to block the Guardian because you never know what your opponent's going to have and it could just blow you out. And the goal is to just use your life as a resource and stabilize and make them sad. So now we've got Hullbreaker and they just scoop. They can't beat Hullbreaker. So pretty good game. Didn't make any mistakes that I'm aware of. It's always good. So this is a pretty decent hand. Look at my opponent. They're going to be playing control-ish. The biggest issue is I can't counter Niv Mizzet, so I probably want to try to save Sink into Stupor. But the rest of this is pretty good. I don't really get to interact with them early. The blink of an eye should help. Gotta be nice. Say hello. Oh, Memory Lapse. Nice to just luck out and draw exactly what you need. They're probably going to play a lot of draw go. Or not. Yeah, we don't want that for now. We'll just delay the inevitable. All this deck does is delay the inevitable. So now I can counter it this turn. Let's see if they have a response. And if they have a response, it's fine. Fighting with counter magic early. Oh, they gave me pressure. Okay. I love when they use Swan Song against me because I just need a 2-power creature to just hit the gas, start ticking things down. They're not going to expect Sink into Stupor for Niv Mizzet, and so I'm basically going to keep it open this entire time. I'm probably going to blink of an eye bounce their token at the end of the turn if I don't have to react to something they cast. I would love for them to like bolt this or something stupid. Oh, they just let me draw go. Okay, yeah, we'll blink of an eye. No, we'll say blink of an eye for that when it flips. Now we just swing and wait for them to make a mistake. This is the thing I love about blue decks is you have to play perfect. And that's what I like to do. Make mistakes, you lose, you get punished. But you're always riding like the razor's edge and it's just super fun. Now is when we blink of an eye. This doesn't have flash, so I will blink of an eye and return that because I don't want that thing copied. And I get rewarded. So let's see, do I have enough? So we always pick elemental with this. I'm gonna put another elemental in the deck to just make it work better. But this leaves up mana for Sink into Stupor, which I can use on Niv Mizzet. Hit the Cavern, get it up to 6 power. Always do your non-island lands first. I know it seems obvious, but I make that mistake all the time. Now the nice thing is with this hand, I can Essence Flux this turn and Sink into Stupor next if they try to do anything to my commander right now at the end of my turn. That's very tempting to disrupt. I think I will. No, in case they've got bounce mana. They might have like Brazen Borrower or something. We'll see if they've got like a pump spell or a burn spell or something. Oh, they're just trying to generate tokens, treasure tokens. That's fine. Now I could totally cast Haughty Djinn here for extra pressure, but for now we're just going to swing in and see what they do. Now I'm definitely going to cast Haughty Djinn. I've got enough counter magic. I can double dip now. So I can Sink into Stupor and Disdainful Stroke or Dismiss or Kindred Denial. And now I get rewarded for them doing this. So I Eluge here and they just scoop. They know they've lost. That would have given me another flood counter, which would have made my spells even extra more free or whatever you want to call it. That was a good game. Mana drain is nice. I never really play against this, so the goal is going to be to keep them off the bird. This seems fine. It's not the best, but I'm not going to mulligan away early interaction. Now, the goal with the Fairy Mastermind in play is to just counter the bird. Now, when I counter this bird, it's going to allow me to play my Signet next turn for free, which will allow me to leave up Wash Away. I'm going to avoid playing Scalding Tarn because I have the Mystic whatever that allows me to get a... I'm just going to go for it with Eluge right now. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, it's cast from your hand. Okay. That's fine because I'll put it on the top of my library. Yep. Subtlety is something I would like to add to this deck. I really can't stand that Uro graphic that pops up. It's so annoying. I really wish I could turn off animations. We got 1 mana open, so let's see. And I like to save Scalding Tarn, like I said, for Mystic Sanctuary because it lets me re-gas up and I can put Mana Drain back on the top, and I'm just going to pass. Your opponent knowing you have a counterspell on the top of your deck always just adds this weird pressure to them. They'll end up making mistakes. See, I could cast this with Mana Drain backup, which isn't the worst idea, and it would make Wash Away free next turn when they try to cast their commander, so I am going to do that. This is probably going to be a counter fight. Okay, so I'll Mana Drain that. Oh, they just played into counter magic. Okay, I don't know why they would do that. I guess thinking I'm going to waste the counter spell and then they can cast, oh, Wrath of God. That's fine. Eluge is better every time you resolve it, so it doesn't matter. Desertion. This card is so good, and I am just going to cast this with the hope that they will wash away again. All right, now okay, so now we just pass from the command zone. That's pretty good. Should I dig through time? No. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll have enough to still cast Desertion, so I'm going to do this and get rid of a blue source. Also, that fuels Mindbreak Trap, or it fuels dig through time, not Mindbreak Trap. What am I thinking? Now we're going to exile this bad boy. They could have counter magic, but I've got to disrupt it somehow. Alrighty. I can cast this, but they'll just tap it forever. And I've got dig through time and I've got counter magic. So we will just play it out. I want that. See, stuff like that just blows people out. It like breaks their brain and then they just scoop, which is half the fun of playing Magic. So on to the next one. I don't know where Eluge is on the power scale because I play a lot of interesting decks when I'm using this commander. Unlike when I use Imri or Skithis, I just see the same turds every time. But with this, it's been relatively diverse. I really don't like playing against Voja. Voja makes me sad. I have Mana Drain, so I'm going to keep it, but I'll probably end up regretting it. I also have Otawara, so eventually, if I just keep drawing into lands, then I'll be able to use that. Oh, why? Why'd they scoop? Are they scared of blue decks? They mulled. Like, I guess they didn't see Cavern or something and just decided to give up. Anyways, that was fun. Like that previous game, sometimes you just auto win because people don't want to play against blue. I don't know why. I mean, like, I've never understood the blue hate. Like, it is so hard to win with mono blue. You can't gain life. It's almost impossible to remove creatures once they've resolved on the board. Like, people cry about counter spells, but it's like literally like get good. I don't understand why people get so salty about them. This hand's fine. I'll probably regret this because I'll be stuck on 2 land forever, but whatever. My opponent is deep in the tank or something. Another thing I've noticed with this deck is I get so many salty timeouts. My opponent just times me out. That's a good... See, stuff like this is why I would like opt. Hitting a fetch or hitting that thing would just be great. Now I've got to keep this open because of that. Pretty sure they're going to just play a Cavern, resolve their commander, and then I'm going to be annoyed. Oh, I will counter that. I would like my free Mind Stone next turn. Free Mind Stone, play Eluge, and that keeps Wash Away open. So I'm tapped out. Oh, okay, very good. I'm glad they're missing lands. I'm going to use Essence Flux now just to get my spells extra free. Like that, it pays off so much with Even the Score. Even the Score is now a free card, so I'm going to draw 5 at the end of their turn if they don't do anything. We are going to Whirlwind Denial that. I don't want them to hit lands. That's fine. All right. See, now we're just like so far ahead. We'll just drop the beats and not let them resolve anything else. Give me that free Wash Away. I could even the score here, but there's no reason to because I'm just way far ahead. Now we've got that. So to be efficient with my free spells, I am going to Brazen Borrower, bounce Emerald Medallion. And let's just keep going. I know I'm talking a lot about what I'm doing, but like this deck needs that. Doing the whole thought process thing matters, and Haywire Mind does not matter. Emerald Medallion also does not matter. It's not a threat. I'm ahead on board. I'm about to draw 5. Oh, I should have paid 6. Oops. And that's it. Just stabilize and then punish your opponent for not having Cavern of Souls. I know this is like purely anecdotal, but I have had such a strange experience playing Control on Arena. People don't know how to deal with blue control on Arena. I think it's because I've been playing Magic for 20 years, so I'm used to the mono blue archetype that's been around since then, but Wizards has actively discouraged that style of deck building with the way they've designed cards. And so a lot of people don't know how to play against it. And I mean, I don't know what to tell them because it's way too fun for me to stop and I will force it. And then they scoop. See? Just a big bad blue player everyone's scared of, I guess. I actually really like playing against Etali decks because they're slow to get off the line. Like they ramp super hard, but then if you just interact with Etali for the rest of the game, they don't win. Okay, this is good. I'll give them a 2/2 bird. So yeah, this is great. Now they'll try a mana dork or something and they'll get a 2/2 bird instead. I might have been a little greedy with this hand, but here's hoping I can kind of dig my way out. That's good. Now I'll get to attack with Malcolm. Ugh, I would have loved to have drawn some counter magic. Hopefully they'll just play like a ramp sorcery or something. Oh, ooh, well, that sucks. Shifting Ceratops. Yeah, that'll blow me out. Probably gonna lose this game. So let's see. Okay. Do I do this? Because they'll just keep shifting Ceratops, but the token will go away. I should have done it before, but that's fine. Let's see what happens. I got rewarded. I'm still on like a 4-5 turn clock. Consuming Tide won't help. I need River's Rebuke. It's going to enter tapped. I'm going to cast Eluge. Seagate Reborn. Make this thing a little more buff. Protection from blue, so I can't do anything right now. But I can River's Rebuke, so let's just do that. And then get in with Malcolm and Eluge. The problem is now they can haste this, but I am tapped out, which means this is not a blue spell, so I am going to keep this. We're going to draw Witness Protection. I'm hoping they'll just go land Etali. I really can't deal with the dinosaur. Oh, that's fine too. Discover the Formula is such a weird card. Like arena cards are just borderline busted. I know why they make them busted, because they can only tweak them later, but they're still ridiculous. Yep. I don't think this is a blue spell. I'm going to attempt to use it on the Triceratops if they give their Triceratops haste. They did not. So I'm going to discover the formula instead. Hoo-hoo. Now we dig through time. We're going to Value Town. Population me. This deck doesn't have Snapcaster Mage in it, and I think I want to fix that. I want a land. So we're going to take Castle Vantris, and then we're just going to take a Counterspell. Yeah, we'll go here. Desertion's real good. Real good. So what we're going to do now is attempt to Otawara Shifting Ceratops, because it's not a blue spell. And swing. Oh, crap. I made a mistake. Play Mistake City. They'll just block Malcolm. Whatever. It's fine. Now we will Desertion Etali. Ooh, can't be countered. That's Counterspell. Let's see. Yep, I want to cantrip. So we'll just counter that little value cantrip. That's fine. I want the flood counters. I can't block anyways. Okay, this is what I needed because now I can block shifting Ceratops. And I still have plenty of counter magic and everything. And now we're going to gas up. Yeah, see, Desertion, the blowout. It is exactly what I needed. Like that was one of the reasons I was holding Desertion up, is I needed something that could block the pro blue creature, and I got it. Like I've said before, so much of this deck is thinking multiple steps ahead, and you cannot make a mistake. One of the things I learned from Next Level Magic by Patrick Chapin was perfect play will beat a better deck. So as long as I am not making a mistake, then I will win more often than not, which sounds obvious when you say it, but a lot of people don't look at Magic that way. And you have cards that do multiple things and they offer you different lines, and it's just about making the correct decision. The majority of winning Magic is making the correct decision with the information you have at hand. So let's move on. How many wins is that in a row? It's a lot. Kind of wanted to play till I lose because there's also a lesson in losing. I guess we'll see. First things first, see what you're playing against. I've played against this before. I need early interaction. They're probably going to have hand disruption, but this is fine. They'll end up taking a counterspell. But Fading Hope is nice. Just the ability to scry if they play something dumb. Always say hello. Gotta be nice. All right. That's fine because now I'll get Malcolm out. And now I have protection up for Malcolm. Malcolm is gas. You'll just win games using Malcolm. I am going to get rid of Fading Hope. It's probably the weakest card in my hand. Now they'll probably go for Prosper this turn. No, this is the best. When your opponent thinks draw go is the best way to interact with your control deck, it's always a mistake for them. You constantly have to apply pressure. Even if I'm countering the spells, like you need to be casting spells to force me to use my counter magic. Eaten by Piranhas is probably great for Prosper. You always want to keep this in your hand because yeah, you have counter magic, but we'll get rid of Disallow. It's the weakest of the counter spells. I like having this just in case. You want Eaten by Piranhas in your hand because if you don't counter Prosper, then at least you can shut it down. Are you gonna kill Malcolm? What is this? I think I counter this with this. and leave magic open. Yeah, I don't want them to get counter spells. That's my huge advantage, and I've actually had really hard fought fights against this deck because they stole my counter magic, and I was basically having to play against myself. It shuts Malcolm down, which sucks, but that's okay. We'll just go right back to getting a disallow on top of the library. Can I do this? No, because they can kill it before it can resolve. If I sink into stupor though, I probably could. So yeah, we'll sink into stupor. Oh no, I can't. I already dropped a land this turn. What am I thinking? You want to be able to counter their removal spells. You also want to be able to counter weird things like this. That's fine. They're going to see I have 2 counter spells, so they'll just get rid of 1, or they'll get rid of Eaten by Piranhas. I don't know. I never know the thought process behind what people pick. Okay, I want to do this because I want to surveil. Oh, yeah. Disallow. What am I thinking? Why would I want to? At least I have another counterspell on the top. That's a mistake. That's a mistake-ish. Now, they don't have removal available right now, so I can do this because they don't have a 1-mana removal, and I get rewarded because now I have a disallow ready to go. Yep. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to disallow the trigger. No, I'm not. This thing's fine for now. And now I've got Jace. So what we'll do here is we're going to bounce this so I can get Malcolm back to working. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Death touch. Nice. That's fine. Actually, Malcolm will still be affordable when I get it back, and I get to do Eluge will be affordable when I get it back. And now I can't counter this, and I want to keep Alrund's Epiphany because I'm going to cast it for free with Malcolm next turn as long as Malcolm's still alive. They're probably going to focus their pressure on Jace if they have a way to do it. The Weasel. I love that set. Okay, see now this is where the fun begins, because now I get to draw 3, put 2 cards back. So we're gonna put Exclude and Strix. We're gonna do it artifact, creature, planar. We'll do it this way because now we get to go all gas. No breaks. Now we get to cast Alrund's Epiphany for free. Cast Eluge, Brainstorm. No. Get to Brainstorm, sir. And now we get Solve the Equation, which we are now going into infinite turns. So what we're going to do is put back the counter spells we don't want. And the thing is now I get to discard anything and cast it for free. So now we go for it, and we'll get to cast Shark Typhoon for free. And now we'll get to Solve the Equation, take an extra turn, and they lose. We just take Karn's Temporal Sundering, target player, and this is how you close the gap. I need to cast creatures for my daily. Normally I wouldn't do this. And then we hit him with a good game. And yeah, this game, you just run away. It's just a matter of managing to stabilize. I mean, it's blue deck. Obvious. I stabilize and then I win. And now I get the salty timeout. So we will use this time to discuss what I want to change in this deck. I don't have Snapcaster Mage in this deck, and I think it needs it. It is just another way to really do some nasty things to your opponent, especially with Eluge, because you just need 2 mana open on their turn. You can Snapcaster targeting something in the yard, cast that for a reduced cost. And Snapcaster is just great because it's never a dead draw. Even if you're flashing it in as a chump blocker, or there have been times on turn 2 where my opponent's done nothing. I throw down Snapcaster Mage and then I counter everything they resolve after that. And it's just 2 mana. It's just 2 power pressure that they never get a chance to deal with. So this deck right now is skewed heavily toward the control side, but it has these little elements of a tempo deck. And what I really want to do is play more of a tempo style, but I really don't want to break what the deck does best. But I think Snapcaster is kind of a harmless card to put in, especially because I don't really like Brawl in the deck. So I'm tempted to replace Brawl with Snapcaster. Maybe there's another thing I'll get rid of. It's not going to be a counterspell. But this was fun. My opponent just cried and timed me out. I'm used to this now. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. So we'll hit him with another good game and kill them. Hero protagonist. You think they read Neil Stephenson? I bet they read Neil Stephenson. Maybe that means they're smart. We'll see how this game goes. I got a mulligan again. This is a not very good hand, so we'll see how it goes. Spell Swindle's got to go back because I'll never be able to cast it. I guess I'm going turn 2 Brawl, let them kill it. Turn 3 steps ahead. I don't really have much else to do. I wonder if they're going to play Hand Disruption. Oh, okay. I've been playing for a while now, recording. I'm trying to get a game where I lose because you learn more in a loss than you do in a win. But I've won 8 in a row. So hopefully this is a loss. I'm not going to play poorly. I had Phantom. I probably should have kept out Counter Magic. Okay, I'm going to make play mistakes, I guess. We'll see. Maybe they won't kill it. They gon' kill it. I really think I want Snapcaster in place of Brawl. Okay. Still alive. Just block any amount of damage. Oh, cool. Wonder what that was about. All right, I'm taking a beat down. but we might be okay. I really don't want to use this against him unless I have to. What I would like to do is counter a creature so I can cast Eluge for cheap, so I can keep this up as counter magic, because Eluge is going to be a fantastic blocker, but they might be smart and just not cast anything. Oh, I can't create a spirit. I could draw 2. Yeah, we'll just let it resolve. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I knew they were going to do that because they want to be able to cast Nixilis. They going to cast something else? No? Okay. So now I draw. So I have to cast this, but it's probably going to die. But I'm hemorrhaging damage, okay? I can't do anything, so we'll just get hurt. No block. Hey, I get to do something. That's always fun. So what can we do here? Can we stay alive? I don't think so. Maybe Essence Flux lets us stay alive? Because I can swing. Oh, no, I'll be able to block Blink. So what else do we want? We want to be able to create something with Phantom Interference, but 3 steps ahead is very good. So we'll get that. Put that on top. Next, attack, turn. Okay, ouch. Yes. Okay, so we're going to Phantom Interference, and then we're going to block and block. Yep, I lost. And that's how it ends up happening. I mean, nothing I can really do. I'm just going to flicker this for fun. Why not? And so that's it. Sometimes you play mono blue and you get mono red. They just came out super aggressive and I didn't have a way to interact early, and they just put enough pressure on that I got blown out. Let's look at the deck real quick. Let me move over here. And so I think I am going to replace Brawl with Snapcaster, like right now, because Snapcaster I think is better. Brawl almost feels like win more. Like, yeah, it makes your spells cheaper, but I see it so rarely in a situation where I want to play it on turn 2. Maybe I'm wrong. What would I get rid of to put Brawl back in the deck? That's the problem. Like, Brazen Borrower I think is a great addition. Haughty Djinn is just a win con. The thing is like you don't need any crazy win cons. I would almost get rid of Narset for Brawl. Narset's very underwhelming in this deck. It just feels almost more win more than Brawl because Narset doesn't do anything better than Brawl. Brawl lets me filter. I can play it earlier. Like, people will attack Narset, but also Brawl will just block what attack would have been toward Narset. I think we'll stick with this for now. Like, this deck is just so much fun. Like I said, you know, can't make mistakes, but not a lot of mistakes to do. Like, when it comes to counter magic, I think that the counter magic is good as is. There's a couple things like Offer You Can't Refuse might be better than Strix Serenade because it kind of feels like a non-bow with Malcolm, which you saw multiple times when I was playing, that I would be getting in with Malcolm and then I would Swan Song or Strix Serenade, and then just Malcolm shut down. Malcolm would shut down Snapcaster too. But granted, like, I don't have to win with Malcolm, but I think that this might be better. It hits a lot of stuff, but the problem is the treasure tokens ramp the bejesus out of them. So I'm really not sure. I think that what I've got right now is probably the best counter magic setup. I really want to put Stifle in this deck though. Stifle isn't the best, but man, it can blow some stuff out. Also, it's just fun. And what's the point of playing Magic if you're not going to have fun? Where would I put it? Would I get rid of Spell Pierce? I so rarely like having Spell Pierce in my hand. It's only good for like the first like 4 turns unless I'm playing a control mirror. So let's get a little crazy with it. And we're going to throw Stifle in there too. But I think I'm done for now. Let me know in the comments if you are also a blue player who feeds on the salt of your opponents. And I don't know when I'm going to upload Magic stuff. I don't do it very often because I don't really have a reason to. It's just fun to do occasionally with decks I enjoy. There's probably a pattern now since the first one was Emery mono blue and now we have Eluge mono blue. But thanks for watching. With that, I'll see you next time.